Most people have never hand-propped an airplane, and there is really no mystery behind it. When the magneto and the impulse coupling go off, it creates spark and the engine fires. Basically, if you come up on your impulse coupling, and as soon as that impulse coupling trips, your engine's going to fire. If you've got the gas and air mixture right, and the engine's cold, it's gonna fire, it's gonna start. A warm engine's a little different story. A lot of times you have to do some type of hot start procedure. With my airplane, I usually just go wide open throttle and it'll fire. So when moving a propeller blade, it's important to always treat it as if the mags are on, because you don't know if one of the wires is broken, and therefore you could actually start the airplane inadvertently. This is a segment showing the last 15 minutes of my day playing around. It's already gotten pretty dark. I didn't start playing until about 4:15 here with the camera mounted to the Acme shock. I will land a half a dozen places. Actually, I think there's 7 places in this segment. And I pretty much just cut out all the air time and just let it run as takeoff and landings. None of these places are too extreme. They're all probably 300 feet long. Some of them are a little bit longer, like the shooting alley here. Over the years, this island changes drastically because they use it to pump sand out of the channel. So it's always changing. They create new spots for us. The alders grow in. Probably the most dangerous part of this whole takeoff and landing thing this time of year is not being able to see the trees without leaves on them. Many years ago, I was down here with a group of friends and we were doing takeoff and landings. And as we were all out playing, one of the guys that was here with us that I didn't know very well, he flew through the top of one of the trees, bent his wing struts, and kept going. And the next time I came down, the tree that he flew through the top of was cut down with a chainsaw. So I think he blamed the tree on his poor airmanship. It didn't hurt him, didn't hurt the airplane too bad. I'm sure he has a great story to tell. One of the things that you got to be aware of when you're landing on this mossy ground is it's sand underneath. So pretty much everywhere you land where there's moss, it's going to be sand underneath. If you get on the brakes too hard, that moss will ball up in front of the tire and it works like a chalk. And all of a sudden tail's coming up, and I've seen at least a couple airplanes up on their nose after getting a little bit too hard on the brakes. I've spent many hours down here flying around, beachcombing, shooting my rifle. It's nice because it's a place that I can come that's not far from home. I don't burn a lot of gas getting here, and I can kind of get my fill of flying in about an hour's time. Keeps me from getting rusty and driving my wife crazy during the wintertime. Sometimes there's quite a bit of wind down here, and I use the wind to my advantage. So I will start at one end of the island and I'll just start making a run to the other end doing takeoff and landings. When I get to the other end, then I basically fly back to the beginning of the island and look for places I might have missed, or if I didn't do a very good job in one of the places that I hit, I'll hit it again. It doesn't take long that you can get 30 or 40 landings in. I used to meet quite a few people down here and fly, but as the years have gone by, a lot of those people have lost interest or moved on to something else. It is a lot more fun having people down here to fly around with, but it also does add risk because now you got to look for other guys and keep track of them with the radio and where they're at. So from a safety standpoint, probably better off being down here by myself. From a fun standpoint, it is a lot more fun having other guys out here comparing places, kind of playing follow the leader. An important thing to keep in mind when landing beaches, especially wet beaches, is how aerated the sand is. So what I do to judge the softness of the sand is I will actually drag the spot. So I'll come in, get myself slowed up, roll through the spot with the intention of going around. I never land it after I've decided I'm gonna drag it. Drag the spot, come back around, look and see how aerated the sand is, and you can tell by how far it splatters outside your tire tracks and how deep the ruts are. So it kind of gives you a really good picture of how soft the sand is going to be and how dangerous it's going to be as far as using brakes, or how much power you're going to have to add as you're getting slowed up in that sand. Because as the sand starts bogging down the tires, the tail is going to want to come up if you're still got some momentum. Well, this brings us to the end of another one. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, you know what to do. If you didn't care for this much, give me some feedback. Let me know what I could do better. Any information's better than no information. Thanks for watching.